This is the best PC part picker build you can buy in the United Kingdom for around £1,000. So the objective here is a build primarily for gaming, but you can do streaming, you can do work on it, of course. Uh, so let's start with the CPU. For the CPU, for £1,000, you really need to go Zen 3, Zen 4, Alder Wake or Raptor Wake, and I wouldn't buy anything with less than 6 cores for this type of price. So let's sort it by price. So we have the Ryzen 5 5600 and the i5 12400F. Uh, the pricing between them is competitive, and the i5 12400F is actually great price to performance. It has awesome reviews, and it's a CPU I'm picking here. Uh, then you can use the stock cooler, but if you don't want, I'll give you an option at the end. Then for the motherboard, you want a B series motherboard. You don't want Z's unless they are super cheap. You don't want any Z motherboard or any H motherboard. And the motherboard, you can see you should uh, when you are evaluating a motherboard, you can see that it's usually you only do 2 sticks of RAM, but 4 is always good for the future. And also I'm prioritizing boards that have at least 2 M.2s, so this one would be a no-go. Uh, so you can actually set it in PcPartPicker filters, so they only go for motherboards with 2 slots, and this one has 2 slots. It's nicely priced. Let me see if there is any competition around it. Uh, uh, um, Setting up the filters again. So we have 2 M.2 slots, one for now and one for the future. B760, it's around £5 to £7 more. So let's go with it. Then for the memory. And these, like the memory and the SSD, are the two parts that have gotten so cheap, so much cheaper than before. Like for £1,000, it would be bad if I don't go at least with 32 gigabytes of RAM, because you can actually get a 32 gigabyte of RAM crucial kit, 2 sticks, so you have dual channel, which please do dual channel. Like every single modern platform benefits a lot from dual channel. So I'm just gonna buy this kit. This is stupidly good for the price. It's £47 for 32 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, and you can tune these timings. This can easily go to 3600 CL16. Then for the storage is another medium that's gotten so cheap, like I told you seconds ago. And so I'm just going to sort it by price per gigabyte. And you have a Patriot uh, 2 terabyte SSD for £69, 68.98, £69, nice. And you also have a P3 1 terabyte for 34. This even has a better price per gigabyte, so we can afford a 2 terabyte SSD for this build. So let's go for it. Next, for the video card, for the GPU, for £1,000, I believe the sweet spot would be an RTX 4070. For the 4070, it's a GPU that doesn't need a lot of cooling. It's a 200 watt GPU that behaves more like 3080 from the previous generation. So the cooler is not so important to buy. So I can just buy the cheapest available from a major retailer. And then you have the case and the power supply. The case, it's a lot of what you feel and what you like the most. I just like to filter out worst cases by applying some filters. And for me, for budget builds, for budget to mid-priced builds, I really like to stay in the between the 50 to 80 pound or $80 mark. Uh, so for this one, I'm just going to go with uh, let's see, Mark to 12 Forge. We can go 65 pounds for that MSI case. 655 for this one, but this is a mini tower, and a case that's a little bigger gives you more ways to expand. And not only that, but a case that's a little bigger actually helps with thermals. So I'm just going to search for the other MSI case that I just saw. The MSI 111R, no. I want the one that has the perforated front. Let's see. Yes, this is the perforated front. So this is the case that I'm adding for this build. And then we go for the power supply. Now, PSUs, this PC won't require a lot of energy. So, and on power supplies, there are two things that are very important, even more than the wattage. It's the brand of the power supply. Of course, you don't want to over wattage, but the brand of the power supply should take care of that because there aren't many reviews of all the power supplies available, and power supplies kind of fluctuate a lot in pricing. So I would always look for EVGA, Corsair, MSI recently, Be Quiet, and the best of the best for me is actually Seasonic, but they are somewhat more expensive. Cooler Master is actually a good pick too. I would avoid Gigabyte. Gigabyte PSUs had some problems. Uh, some of them even basically caught on fire. Uh, you can look it up on YouTube for that. Gamers Nexus actually has a pretty good video about that topic. So for this build, we should need around 600 watts because the PC's estimated wattage by PcPartPicker is around 400, and you should have a safety net. So it works more efficiently because every PSU that you're going to buy, it works more efficiently when it's not working at 80 or 100%. So for this build specifically, I'll be going with I'll be going for this build 650. You can even go with this EVGA 600W1, but for safety and for future upgrades, I will probably pick a 750 watt PSU. You have Deepcool, it's actually a good brand, a trustworthy brand, and it's 750 watt, 80 plus. And this is it. You have a 4070 PC on Alderwake i5 platform, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Like we didn't skip on anything. We didn't like put some like 16 gigabyte kit. We have a lot of storage. We have a very good and balanced PC build for around £1,000 in the UK. And that's it, guys. This is the first of many, hopefully, detailing you how you should pick the best parts for your budget in your part of the world. Bye bye.